Hello and welcome back to the Shine Gaming and Esports Center here in upstate New York. We are back with week 3 PEC action here. I'm just delighted. I'm Carson Cass in the booth, and joining me for the first time, Jack Elliott.
You know, it's great to be here. I'm really excited to cast some Smash tonight with you, Carson, and I'm really excited to see what Syracuse has to offer us against Boise.
Yeah, I'm glad I've indoctrinated you into this lovely program in the new facility, which, if you haven't been here already, get here now. Such just a beautiful space. So cool to be in here. And we've got the players on stage tonight for some Super Smash Bros. Syracuse, 3-6 now, 3-7. One of the two are on a 4-game losing streak, unfortunately. The Orange started out the year pretty well at 3-1, but just kind of slipped after a Michigan State game against a top table team, and things just haven't gone well. Earlier in the spring semester, we saw them lose 0-2 on stream. Last week, off stream, they lost 0-2 to Ohio State. The Orange have to get their foot forward here.
And, you know, the good thing is Boise is one of the teams that they beat at Smash last semester, and that's really a positive sign for a team looking to snap a little bit of a skid.
Yeah, the Orange... I mean, you started the last fall semester. You end the fall semester losing 0-2 to Kansas. You start the spring semester losing 0-2 to Kansas. It's not exactly a great feeling. You lost to the same team twice, played them twice, saw them twice. They saw you twice, and fortunately you lost at that point. But the Orange, their last one came against Boise State, a 3-game series, so we'll hope to see some high contention here. But the Orange have done great so far. I mean, you've seen them. We saw them improve in a big way against Kansas. We didn't unfortunately get to watch the Ohio State matchup, but they have been improving, as a lot of these programs have. We saw last week the program as a whole beat Ohio State 3-1. Only loss, unfortunately, was Smash Bros, but everybody's putting it back together. We can really see bright signs as we head towards Sin City.
Yeah, you know, and it's great to see a program, you know, as things get better. You know, we have the new esports center, and, you know, things are just going to take some time to gel, and they're going to start to gel, and you're going to see mass improvement from all of the teams, and hopefully we can see Smash contribute to that tonight as well.
Yeah, and you hope, as you see them right there talking it through for the final time, you hope to see some improvement and maybe have some LAN advantage. That is a real thing that happens in esports, because it's a unique thing where your games are not played in the same spot where your finals are played. I mean, there's guys that'll show up for the Super Bowl on Sunday, but they won't show up more than they do normally any other given Sunday. And this is an entirely different situation. When you're on stage, you get that feeling, that atmosphere that comes with being in LAN, and when you get to Sin City, you hope that they can replicate it, and these other teams can't. You have an edge being up on stage. It's taxing, it's nerve-wracking, but once you get there and once you get around it, you feel like the king of the world when you win.
And you hope that being on stage, the adrenaline kind of can drive a little bit of improvement, a little bit of, up your reflexes. You know, that's the biggest thing for games like these, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're playing with as much adrenaline as you can, especially in Smash. Such a fast-paced game, your brain doesn't really have time to think. It's all reactions, all whatever you've ingrained into yourself. This game's a really unique, I guess, esport, because it is a individual esport, which we see a lot with things like StarCraft, and League is pretty individual with how players play. But these players have all of their talents ingrained into them. They aren't thinking too far ahead. They really can't. It's all just muscle memory, reactions, and seeing what the other person does and reacting to it. It's almost like tennis, I would say.
I would even say it's almost like a relay in track. You know, you're handing the baton off to the next player, hoping that they can do their part of the job, hoping that they can win their matchup, and then hand it off to the next person and take it home.
That leads us to our format: best of 3, 12 stock battle with 4 players each. You start with 3. You start with 3 per player, and then you move down until someone goes out, and then you have the stocks the next time. Each player has 3 stocks to their name. You don't gain any more next life. You don't get to, I guess, win with 2 stocks and have 3 next time. You have to jump off stage in the initial parts. But the Orange came really close against Kansas. We're down to the last 2 stocks or 1 stock both times, and the Orange just couldn't get it together. I believe we'll have a button press immediately. As you see, red team will be Boise State. Blue team will be SU on this side. I think we'll have a button test here, as we see. Luigi coming out for the Orange and the DDD. I'm not sure if we are having a button test at all. We might just be right into it.
All right, so, I mean, here you're going to see it, DDD versus Luigi. Luigi, a quick character for Syracuse. You know, I'm a big fan of using the orange Luigi to represent our school colors. DDD, big, heavy, likes to land on people. I'm personally a big fan of King DDD, but hopefully Luigi can use some of that speed to his advantage in this matchup.
Yeah, off rip, we've got Sarvi, who is going to be, I guess, the orange ace. And we talked about with Ryan, I talked about leading your ace and how the improvement can be there, but I love DDD. DDD is one of my favorite characters in the entire game, probably the one character I mained when I played. But Sarvi, just been amazing on the Luigi. He'll have a good advantage here against a heavy character because he can play offensively, set it up a little bit more, but an amazing edge guard from DDD comes at too low of a percentage to knock out Luigi. I do love the team colors, though. Boise State not rocking theirs.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Luigi, I mean, he's small, he's quick, and he's trying to edge guard DDD here, but he's not going to get it off. DDD's going to find some space back on the stage. Luigi, they're both reaching a pretty high percentage. Syracuse is a small percentage increase, but DDD's going to shoot him off the stage. Only needs a couple hits now for Syracuse to get back on even stock, but that's a tough first morale blow.
And the Orange are doing a really that's a really good job from Sarvi right there, just playing the edge really well. Has to try and maybe get another stock out of DDD here. Did not have the stock, has the percentage now here. Really needs to get DDD now before anything else happens, and that's exactly what he does there. Up B, just knocks DDD off the stage, has the percentage disadvantage. They're going off stage immediately. DDD is going to be able to get back up with an amazing recovery, and nearly edge guards DDD. What is going on off stage? Luigi doesn't get back, DDD does.
I mean, you're hardly even able to see it. The camera doesn't even extend that far, but DDD just managed to hit a couple of shots with that spike ball, and that was too much for Luigi to actually handle. Yeah. Too much for Sarvi to recover from.
Just a really big percentage advantage now for the Boise State side. But, I mean, like spike ball, it's a momentum thing, and you saw, we talked about muscle memory earlier, not being able to see your character. They were still playing, and they knew exactly where they were at that point. It comes down to knowing your character very well. Sarvi going to have to get the recovery here off stage, comes back on. DDD has an amazing edge guard situation, really. Very tough to beat. It's a lot about timing, but Sarvi with a great combo gets it up to 97. DDD off stage, edge guard now from the orange side. They get to play that right side as we're on Pokemon Stadium, and fortunately we're just getting great moves back to back from DDD. He was now going back towards the edge guard situation. Tough for Luigi to beat.
You know, it's really impressive what Sarvi's able to do against the DDD edge guard here. That is tough to beat. He's going to take a hit there. He's going to fly off stage, 140%. You know, it's not an ideal situation, especially from your ace, but he's doing what he can. And he's going to knock DDD off right there. Even the stocks back up. And there it goes. DDD with the hammer slam, going to end the first matchup.
I mean, ideal situation if you were going to lose, get that DDD down to one stock. Hopefully your next player can just go in there and destroy him. Last time we saw me Brawler from the likes of Scooby, who we saw a little bit beforehand, watching them practice. But Scooby did a great job last time on me Brawler. Struggled against lights, was great against heavies. DDD, if you can look at the screen, is a very large penguin who is very hard to knock off the map. But, you know, personal favorite from the Kirby franchise. You have to, gotta love it. But the Orange played pretty aggressively there, but so did Boise State. And that's kind of a tough matchup. DDD has a very good edge guard, and Luigi has a very predictable recovery.
Yeah, and, you know, that's just kind of something that you're going to see happen with, you know, characters that don't mesh well for your team. And if Scooby does come in with me Brawler now, then that's going to be, that's a positive matchup for the Orange. I'd say he can maintain distance. He can close distance quickly, get some shots in on the heavier character who cannot evade as well.
Yeah, I mean, you are not playing a zoner, but me Brawler has some of the most distance of a Brawler character, or a lighter Brawler character. But it's going to be very interesting to see what the Orange choose here. Maybe a zoner, maybe a Palutena. It's going to be interesting to see on that other end how it's Boise State going to do. Because now you have the advantage. You are going to play DDD, and if you end up losing that stock, you end up losing that, you're going to see what comes out next. And the Orange going to go with Luigi, or Yoshi, who has been excellent for the Orange. Saw him do a very good job in Kansas. Took 4 stocks in that first game off of the Jayhawks. But now we're back in Boise. DDD can take his 2 stocks and we'll be underway.
Yeah, you know, it's really fortunate that you saw at the end of the last game, DDD was up at 140%. And, you know, he's going to get to start clean here, and that's really positive for Boise. But GR Bean going to look to take that stock off quickly, you know, reset things again for the Orange.
Yeah, the Orange are just going to try and get this over with is the best thing to describe it with. DDD can take a very big beating, and the reset on percentage is very good. I mean, it did happen at the cost of a stock for DDD. You don't have to get back up to that percentage. It goes off stage immediately. Yoshi's edge guarding has been great from GR Bean specifically. See a pink Yoshi this time, and blue last time. Changes it up every week, but again, now we're going to see that edge guard from DDD, which Yoshi can respond to very well. Has a lot of utility they can use.
Yeah, Yoshi can really get up in the air and get around that edge guard, and it's fortunate for the Orange. DDD already up at 100%, 106% now. You know, Yoshi trying to get this over with.
Yeah, we see close matchups all the time. Yoshi, a lighter character, getting up there in percentage, really needs to put DDD away here. really lose it in one swing if you don't do the right job here. DDD doesn't have a lot of KO moves that aren't predictable, but if you run into them the wrong way, you get situations like this where he's just spamming that side B, which is kind of DDD's main reason he's eligible and, I guess, capable of playing against these other characters.
Yeah, I mean, really, if you're Yoshi, you can afford to lose a stock here. The one thing you don't want to do is go 3-0. That would be really unfortunate against a one-stock DDD. You need to keep this game close.
Yeah, and you wanted to even it there, but DDD going to get the stock at least off of Yoshi. Yoshi really needs to end it here. This is a very big situation now, because now you're going to be down 3-2 for the next character if you can't beat DDD. If you can beat DDD here, but if you don't beat DDD here, now you're going to go 3-1. And maybe you're going to have to play DDD again if you don't do it the right way. But GRB has been pretty good in these situations. First stock hasn't always been great, but that's going to be a KO up top. Yoshi puts him away, and we are back to not even, but 9-8 Boise State, and they will get to choose. They have advantage. That's the best part about the first elimination. That first elimination sets up the entire game. You get to respond now if you're Boise State in most situations, unless GRB can take back that response time in a way where you basically have to get another stock on a character in a team that's very good, unfortunately, for the PEC. We've got very good competition, and it gets a little rough sometimes because you are playing against equals, better, or somewhere close, no matter what it feels like every single week. In the Orange have experienced that, and it leads to improvement. You're seeing that there. Orange do a good job against DDD, lose a stock, not ideal, but now it's down to 9-8, very close. Boise State might respond to something. What would you respond if you had any character in the roster against Yoshi?
I mean, any character on the roster against Yoshi. I have a very biased answer, which is that I just like to play Kirby all the time. And, you know, I think that's like kind of evil of me, but I just love to see that little pink guy float up in the air.
I mean, the down B. The down B where
rock.
He turns into a rock and destroys you is a staple from fathers everywhere around America who just learn that and just repeat it over and over and over. My dad did it. He barely played Smash Bros. With me, but all I remember him doing is discovering Kirby and only doing that against me, and he would win every time. I mean, it's annoying, but these players are obviously much better than I am, so it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think Kirby would come out here because I don't think you really want to take a light on a light, but
no, absolutely
if you were Jack
not.
Elliott,
that
it would be Kirby
sense.
no matter what comes up next.
Exactly. But I am not as experienced. If I tried to walk out there with Kirby right now, I would get destroyed. That would be it for me. I would have to retire. I'd have to retire from casting, to be honest.
You'd get beat so bad in the game that you could never show your face again, which is
exactly
pretty fair, honestly. I mean, these guys are good. I played one of them recently and got, I think it was 32 seconds 3 stock against not a Smash player here, but a Smash player from another school.
Yeah, but you know, I think you do have to say it's mission accomplished there for GRB, and you did what you had to do in a difficult situation. You know, 9-8, it's only a 1 stock difference, and that's really an ideal situation for the Orange after 1.
Yeah, and I'm going to be curious if they've done their scouting report. The Orange have struggled mightily against certain light characters who are fast, but have been very good against others, and we're going to see Joker, very high-tier character here. In Joker, and not really well liked by the community when he came out for some obvious reasons. It's very, I guess, very different character from a very weird franchise. Once we got Minecraft Steve, I think everybody stopped caring.
Yeah, you know, I think Minecraft Steve really was like that was it for really caring about who actually joined the game. It's kind of like, you know, now that SpongeBob is in Magic the Gathering, like they've kind of given up.
Yeah, I mean that's a niche reference for sure, but. Yoshi is a very quick character, and we'll see how Joker can deal with that. It's been very good skirmishing, we'll call it, in the middle section here. Now we're going to the edge. Our Yoshi has been very, very quick. He plays very fast. He plays in a way that's tough to deal with if you're not doing the right thing, and Joker really struggling, 85 to 13%. GRB just has it in the bag, and that's going to be almost a knockout on the edge now. Has an opportunity to edge guard. Joker goes back down. Playing the edge guard is Yoshi. Going back up top is just really dealing with him in every sense. Tail whip. Goes off the map in a humiliating way. Unfortunately for Boise State, now we're back even with 13% on GRB.
I mean, GRB was all over the Joker there. There was absolutely nothing. It was like a swarm. It was like a million Yoshis came out, except at the end of the day, there was only one, and it was only GRB, and he was just all over the Boise Joker.
Yeah, Broncos Joker just can't seem to keep up, unfortunately. Just playing too fast of a game. Back right here, and we're just seeing, again, another stock taken away. Only 13% both times, 25%. This is a great situation for GRB and exactly what the Orange need. Can't get away, though, here now. This would be a beautiful situation to be in, back up 8-6 if you got Joker here again. But now Joker seems to understands it now.
Yeah, Joker's trying to, you know, put some space between the swarming Yoshi and, I guess, chip away at the percent. But that was an incredible run for the Orange, and one that really felt like a momentum shift in terms of this tie here.
Yeah, even if you lose the stock here, you're going to still have an advantage if you beat Joker. But now Yoshi needs to lock in a bit here. Hasn't been as good on the other stocks as he has, but you see that combo just start, and it never really stopped either time. Yoshi plays very, very quickly, and you can see that. What a prediction from GR Bean. Back up top, just getting juggled in the air by Yoshi.
Wow, I mean, the recovery on this Yoshi is really incredible. The chip from the Joker, there wasn't just enough consistent damage on GR Bean for it to be any kind of problem for GR Bean, and so he was able to recover. He was able to land a couple hits, but now he's taking a couple hits again, up to 120, 116 to 120 now. Really high percentage matchup here.
Yeah, Yoshi just beats him in the aerial game. What you see here on the ground, Joker does a better job, gets that first elimination. Now they're back to even stocks, but the percentage not quite even, 116 to about 4 right now. Yoshi just trying to get rid of it, trying to deal with it very quickly. Has the aerial game, trying to get him in the air. Back up top, Joker off right stage. That's another elim very quickly off spawn from GR Bean. That is a very, very good start for the Orange. Back now up 7-6. That's exactly what you want to do. Now the Boise State has to respond. The Orange can reply once GR Bean goes down.
It's simply a great, first of all, a great situation for the Orange to be in now. That was a momentum shift, a momentum shifting tie right there. 3-1 stock, like that's something that changes the way that a game is.
Yeah, I mean, that's positive differential, and that's all you need to win Smash games. Obviously, a positive differential, but saw the Orange do a tough job. I mean, they were up 2-3. They couldn't get a stock off certain characters like Olimar against Kansas, and they put it together here. That's a masterclass, really, from GR Bean, who can now, if he keeps up the momentum, can take 1 or 2 stocks off this next character and set it up for the Orange in a positive way. Don't want to get stampeded by the Broncos, and that was a great way to reply after not winning that first matchup.
And it feels like almost a waste of an opportunity for Boise. They had the opportunity to go in with whatever character they wanted because Yoshi was a response to the DDD, to that first initial matchup, and they had an opportunity to go in with a character that could counter Yoshi, and it just didn't happen. It didn't come together for the Broncos.
Yeah, Joker has some crazy combos he can land on lighter characters, and didn't do it there. Yoshi maybe just a bit too heavy. I mean, you throw guys in there when you believe they can win, or maybe if you're looking for something else. This is a very interesting situation where you are playing a very interesting game. It's like if you were coaching a regular game of basketball, but you just got to sub guys out and it was one-on-one basketball. It's like a Pokemon battle. That's the best way I can describe it. It's like a Pokemon battle. Syracuse struggled mightily against Kansas with their Pokemon trainer, but we haven't seen that yet. And I mean, that's exactly kind of my point, is you're playing a weird game of Pokemon where it's your teammates instead that you're throwing out there. Maybe not knowing that they can't beat the Joker and how well they played against the Joker. They see how fast Yoshi plays. Maybe you're not going to bring a heavy back out. You saw him struggle against DDD a little bit. Maybe you bring in a Donkey Kong or something like that, who's a pretty common character we see among teams.
Right, and now the job for Boise is going to be the same that it was for Syracuse against DDD. Finish off that one stock. Get rid of the character and take a regroup. You know, if you have to sacrifice stock to do it, you do, but you want to get rid of this guy who's playing like an ace for the Orange.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if the Orange really have a particular ace. It kind of feels like any given Thursday, somebody will show up a little bit more. Somebody will show up in the right position. The Orange are just playing exceptionally well today. You can see that from GR Bean, and we'll see what they can do. Maybe cause some havoc. Maybe get 2 stocks, 1 stock. I think 1 stock is what you're going for if you're GR Bean at this point. You're down to 1. Didn't really need to lose that final stock against Joker. Was really close to not losing it, but fortunately it happens, and you have to go move on from that point. But the Orange playing a great game. This was a lot better than we saw against Kansas, and I'm very happy to see that progression forward as we head towards the middle of the season. Saw some big progression in the fall, and now towards the spring, we're seeing some big progression after that 3-1 start. The Orange are back on track, it feels like, when you watch these kind of games, even though they haven't been really competitive and winning all of them. They've been competitive in all of them.
Yep. So Palutena here, the pick for Boise, going to be, you know, a sword character, so you're going to want to be closing the distance quickly with Palutena. But Yoshi was doing very well fighting in close corners, can really punish you if you make a mistake in close quarters. Can turn you into the egg, can grab you, throw you up in the air. But Palutena is going to have to play inch-perfect Smash if they're going to want to, if they're going to take this stock off Yoshi here.
Yeah, and that's a big reason you're picking Palutena. You get to keep Yoshi. That's the whole point of that character, is to keep Yoshi out of your range, out of Yoshi's range. And keeping them out is going to be a big way for Boise State to get the stock eliminated. They're going to try and just get it right quick here. But putting up a fight, obviously, is Yoshi, who's having a little bit of a tough time getting in. You see there, just kind of can't close the space, can't close the gaps. Palutena's playing how she wants to, and that's the best way you can describe a zoner, is just taking spaces you want to. Think of it a lot as Overwatch, where the tank is moving forward. Zoners are a lot kind of just keeping the space, pushing the spaces you want, and controlling the map. It's kind of what a zoner's all about. It's just control.
Yeah, and this is not going how the Orange would have liked. Looks like things could get even back up here. 139 to 45 Yoshi's trying to do some damage, but that's going to end this one. A knockout there, put things back on even terms.
It was 6-6. It was very close last time these two teams played, and we're seeing exactly why. Back and forth, back and forth. Orange going to have to just adjust, take a deep breath there, see what they can reply with. That's the best part about being up, is you can reply with someone who's zoner. Maybe you see me Brawler there. Saw him last week when we played as zoner. Didn't go great, but I think that was a Olimar pick. That was more the problem, is Olimar has that chip damage that throws you out of your combos in the right situations. But, I mean, me Brawler's all about combos. It's all about hitting 7 moves in a row, running away, hitting 7 moves in a row, running away. It's, I mean, it's like rowing a boat. I don't know.
Yeah, it's impressive, the ability to just get in there, land a bunch of punches, launch the character, and give yourself enough time to recover. That's really the important part. And against a zoner like Palutena, that's gonna be the move, is getting around that, breaking through, getting into those close quarters.
Maybe you apply yourself with a zoner. We know Syracuse has a lot of different sections, and I'm gonna be very curious to see what the Orange do next time. But it's gonna be interesting. Kind of, I think the best thing you can pick is maybe a heavier character. And I think that might be something we see. You might see a lighter character, perhaps a Min or a Lucas or a DDD.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the Lucas versus DDD, pretty polar opposite, but I think Min could be the pick here.
Getting word that we're going to be seeing a Min next time from the wall beyond me in the control room in the Smash rooms there. Big master hand talking to me, let me know what's going on next. Min is a very interesting character because she is a zoner brawler almost. She can play like me Brawler is the best way I can describe it, from if you watched our last stream and not familiar with Smash. But she's actually going to be standing here. If you've ever played the game ARMS, it's a very not popular game. Is it? I think its servers have been shut down actually for that game. But
I don't think it's huge.
It's the punching game on the Switch. I know a lot of people are not familiar with it. It had a very low player count at its peak, but it was a game I was very familiar with. Min as a character from that game, if you aren't familiar, has a lot of range, is a brawler, really interesting pick against Palutena. I'm very interested to see how the Orange play this, because you're playing a zoner brawler, which is the fun part about these new characters is they play completely different than any other one on the roster.
Yeah, I think the best way you can describe Min is almost like Mr. Fantastic, with the stretchy arms, trying to deal damage like a brawler, but from range, and that's going to be really interesting to see what Ado Bear can do here against the Boise Palutena.
Actually, that's a really good analogy, and you're going to see right here. Bang, stretchy arm, but she has a lot of distance, and you can see that right there. Bit of an interesting zoner. I mean, she's hitting Palutena out of range in a very interesting way, but the biggest part here is going to be elevation. Min does not play great up-down, and Palutena does. She has a lot of ability when you go up and down, and Palutena is going to be faster and be able to run away. You see Min when she's hitting, kind of has to do that slow shuffle, which could be very big to the detriment. We'll have to see, though. Haven't seen the Min in a few weeks. It'll be interesting to see how she plays it, though, or rather, how they play it.
It's going to be putting things into, the biggest thing here is putting things into your turns for Syracuse, playing where you want to. So if Min isn't that great up and down, you've got to make sure that you're playing a horizontal game as opposed to a vertical game. You can't let Palutena dictate that for you.
Yeah, you want to play in the middle here and give Palutena no space, but that's kind of the big thing that Palutena is doing right now. Playing very good on the edge. Has to go edge guard now, and Min has a very interesting edge guard. You're kind of predicting where she hits, predicting what she swings. She can swing both things at the same time. Bit interesting. Dodges right. Has a bit no recovery, unfortunately. Min goes too far to the right and just dies there after a Palutena edge guard. Keeps her off in a good way, but saw low stock earlier. Min was started off very poorly, but has really recovered in a massive way, getting those combos off. Maybe found a way to get into Palutena's space, and Palutena also finding a way to close space. She's not playing Brawler when she needs to.
Yeah, not an ideal first stock for the Orange, but the recovery is pretty good. Palutena already up to almost 100%. Really what you want to see there for the Orange, a recovery and not taking too much on this second stop before you can get rid of this first stop.
Ado Bears plays plenty of different characters, and they're all very different. And just what an edge guard. That's the fun part about Min is you get to play kind of certain parts of the game however you want in a completely safe manner, and I think that was a lot of the reason, or one of the reasons that a lot of people picked up Min. She has the amazing ability to edge guard without care for the other person. Is doing a really good job at just poking here, getting that damage off, and another edge for Min. Gets it pushed off towards that right side, and Palutena able to stay on. Not likely to see Palutena alive at 150, and we don't. 156 is as far as she'll go. Gets knocked out. Ado Bears gets their first stock.
Yeah, lighter character there, not really going to do much in the way of surviving. And things are pretty much back even here. Min takes a little bit of a hit, but a really good recovery for the Orange after that unfortunate first step.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough if you're Palutena when your space is not there. There's nothing you can really do as Palutena. We saw that in the first matchup against Kansas. We're Pokemon trainer. All the Pokemon are also very good at closing space. Their Pokemon, they're very brawler-heavy characters. They're all brawler, light, medium, and heavy. But it kind of goes down to whatever you can do in that situation. And Palutena was not able to keep the space away from Min Min, and this is just a massive swing from what we saw at the beginning. Ado Bear is doing a great job to just kind of keep themselves in the game and respond accordingly and adjust accordingly to Palutena.
Yeah, there's great dodge there from the Palutena and gets the hit in on Ado Bears, and that's going to be another stock lost for the orange. Now Ado Bears has to recover, has to get rid of a second Palutena stock before basically taking any damage, and they're doing a great job of it here, and that's going to be even now. Again, 0-0, one stock left for both characters. Great recovery from Ado Bear.
Yeah, and I was talking very much about Ado Bear, and I immediately commentated first them, unfortunately, as they fell off the edge. But Min has actually no recover. That's the best way I can describe it. Is just goes too low and you're done off the stage. That's you see that drive is the only recovery she has. And you see, sometimes it goes very wrong, but getting a lot of damage off here when she's on the edge. She's not as strong as when she's towards the middle. Plays better when she's the one edge guarding. Min Min is a very good character, and Ado Bears, they are doing a great job playing.
Yeah, that ability to just swing an arm down into, while you're edge guarding, into the character who's perhaps hanging off the edge is just one that's incredibly important for the way the Min Min plays.
So that was very uncomfortable there in the middle. Both characters missed, but would have probably been the end for either one. Back up top, Ado Bears not able to keep Palutena out of the space. Palutena now looking a little bit more like Min Min. Keeps it all the way to the longest distance Min Min can. Gets the recovery, though. Could have been bad there if Palutena played the edge guard correctly. Back up top, and Min Min goes down. One stock left for Boise State. Not great for the Orange.
Not great, but also not the worst possible outcome. You thought after that first stock that maybe things weren't going to go that great for the Orange. Palutena only on 60% with 3 stocks left, but Min Min with a really nice recovery, able to take 2 stocks off the Boise State Palutena, and now if you're the Orange, I mean, you're picking your last character here.
Yeah, Ado Bears. Yeah, you are. Ado Bears played it forward in a very good way. It's 4-3 now. If you were curious, the last Orange player will come out. That will be their character for the rest of the game, and Boise State will start out Palutena again, have 1 stock. Then we'll see their response on the other side. But, yes, like you mentioned, that was a very good outcome for the Orange after what we saw that first stock. I said not great for the Orange, but Ado Bears did an excellent job there responding to what was a tough first matchup, and a tough first stock, rather. Went in there, just owned the space, just went out there and beat the heck out of them. I mean, that was the best way to describe it. Played the space correctly, played everything correctly. Palutena, obviously, I think maybe didn't know as much Min Min comparatively. You don't see Min Min a lot. Well, you do see Min Min a lot, but you don't see Min Min a lot played the same way is the kind of best way that I can describe it. Playing middle, just kind of, I guess, a century almost, like from TF2. But just playing there, hitting them back, moving them around. That was the best way Ado Bears could do it, and Ado Bears adjusted properly. They couldn't close the distance, so they made distance.
Yeah, and you're playing from behind when you don't have the reaction to be able to adjust on that first stock, so you're constantly playing from behind, but overall, really, really close matchup, and ended up just taking a bit of an unlucky uppercut right at the end there, knocked him off at 110%.
Yeah, Smash is a game that, when you can be aggressive, is very dangerous for the other team, but Palutena was able to get aggressive and didn't respond well. You want to always play up in Smash. It feels a lot better. For me personally, and for a lot of other players, I know that you can go down to it. It gets nervous when you're down. You're playing conservatively. You're playing from behind. You can't use that same aggression as if you were up 2 or 3 stocks, which we saw Yoshi there. Kind of just threw it all out the window, nothing to lose, and saw him demolish DDD. Saw them demolish the next one. As Me Brawler going to be the final character for the Orange. Very interesting. I think this will be Scooby once again on the Me Brawler. Saw him a bunch versus Kansas. Have to deal with Palutena here. Struggled against Palutena against Kansas. See what they've learned. Yeah,
Scooby here just has to really close the distance on Palutena. Palutena is zoner, as we've been talking about this whole time. Me Brawler needs to get in, take some shots, get a couple right hooks in, and get out. And you're starting off already. You can see that's what Me Brawler's going for. That's what Scooby's trying to do.
Tanta started playing distance pretty well here. Palutena not really trying to keep distance. Bit interesting strategy there. That's not what you want to do against Me Brawler. She's playing way too close and giving Me Brawler way too much space. And you're seeing how dangerous that is. 75-0, nearly got him right off rip. That would have connected. That probably would have been it. The Tanta started, and it's just been all Orange from there. Me Brawler, who's left side. See Palutena back up top. Could be another combo up right.
And honestly, the biggest thing I saw, and that is going to do it for the Orange. Even things back up. 0% taken by Scooby there. Really an impressive performance. Put things back level for the Orange.
And you might be able to see why we went game 3 last time. 3-3. It's going to just be a flat-out regular Smash game when the Boise State gets their response to this one. That's the best part about crew battles, man. It is a 4-game series, best way to describe it. Now you're back to 3-3, and it's Orange Boise State. It's going to be Scooby versus whoever the Broncos put out there. they're not letting themselves get stampeded this week, and that's what you can really applaud from the Orange. They have done a really good job stepping forward. That Citrus squad, massive improvement.
Yeah, and honestly, the biggest thing I saw from Scooby in that game was the shields. The shields, I saw at least 1, 2, maybe 3 shields that were just perfectly timed, knocked the Palutena off balance, and allowed Scooby to get a bunch of really nice hits in there, put himself in an advantage to win the game.
Very aggressive character, obviously, with Mii Brawler. You kind of just hit 7 moves and then go back down and then just never leave their space. That's the best part about Mii Brawler, is you're very oppressive with what you do, and Palutena couldn't keep the space, tried even getting into Mii Brawler's space to counter it, had really nothing they could do. Palutena just kind of got obliterated. I mean, it's 85-0 was the percentage score before you ended there. Amazing job by Scooby. Scooby now just has to take 3 stocks off the other character. Sounds so easy, but we'll have our final matchup of Game 1. It's a best-of-3 format, obviously. 12 stocks per team. Each player gets 3 stocks. Very fun format for PEC, Power Esports Conference. Sees a lot of great Smash play, and we'll see it in Sin City, and I'm very excited to see it on stage because this is one of my favorite formats ever in esports. It is a very individual format, and you go in there and you're essentially playing Pokemon, and I think that is a very fun thing. I already mentioned that, but yes.
Yeah, and I think, this will call out to you people at home who have played a lot of Smash. This is just your plain old sitting on your couch with your friends, 3 stocks, winner take all, and I think that's really fun. And I think that it's fun that with the complication of, picking which character is going to do best to outduel the other character, we just get a 3 stock matchup here.
And Zoner is the way it goes for the Broncos. We have a Richter, who you will see quite a bit of what you just saw there. A lot of side Bs, a lot of, neutral Bs, as you're going to see a lot of space here between them. That's kind of the whole point of Richter, is to keep space away from the other character. And that's kind of the Castlevania DLC. That's what it is. It's just space bearing.
Yeah, and Mii Brawler's going to basically try and do the same thing that he did against Palutena, which is get in there, get past those side Bs, get past the ranged attacks, and it's not exactly happening here the same way it did, and that is going to be the first stock loss for the Orange, not an ideal start.
Yeah, unfortunately, a clobbering for Boise State. That's the best part about Richter. If you are dealing with a character like Mii Brawler, you get to control everything, and you do so much damage with your control. It's not like other zoners like Rob, who does a lot of damage. I mean, he does a lot of damage, but he doesn't keep you away when he does that damage. Same with Palutena. See that, the missile, magic missile is the best way I can describe it. And just kind of can clobber you at a certain rate, and Richter just has all the space they want at certain points, back on the percentage advantage, and still has the stock advantage.
Yeah, it's not looking ideal for the Orange here. It's really not what you want to see from a character who really just came out and clobbered Palutena last game, but some kind of recovery has to be made now or never. It's getting late for the Orange.
Yeah, and this is a good start right here. Edge guarding is going to be great, just kind of keep him off stage. Richter can't really do much when you're in that transition, but this is where Richter excels, that getting forward stage. He's a lot like Mega Man, where a lot of his kit comes from, charging forward at the other team, and that's going to be a great edge guard again. Hits the bottle down, Orange jump off right, and that's going to be another stock taken away from the Orange, as Boise State up 3-1 now on stocks.
Yeah, it's really not ideal. It's not what you want to see, but you're hoping that, you can get a consolation stock at this point, and maybe a consolation stock turns into something a little bit more. Who knows, a little comeback. But really, right now for the Orange, it's focused on just, one input, 1 stock at a time.
Yeah, and you're seeing very aggressive play from Scooby, who just keeps accidentally running into those bottles. And the side B from Richter, obviously, is unbelievably has so much range. You can never really avoid it. You always have to dodge it. More edge guarding from the side of the Orange, 132 to 45. Needs to get rid of him here. Doesn't want to gain too much percentage. They go up to 78. That's pretty much kill zone now for Mii Brawler in the wrong situation. Bottle comes out again from Boise State, but it's just not going well with how much distance they can get. And I think the Orange will be looking at Richter towards game 2 here. Still has a chance to, probability-wise, still has a chance to get in this.
Yeah, and I said it last matchup about Mii Brawler, and I'm going to say the same thing here, but about the Boise Richter, the shielding. The shielding has been perfect because every time that Mii Brawler has been able to close that space, Richter has a perfectly timed shield and a response. An uppercut, something like that, and it's just strong. It's strong.
The interesting part about Richter is that his moves are on so much of a time scale that you can kind of time the only opening when the other team can hit you, and Richter knows when that is. Shield at the right point. Whenever they're down, they basically just shield whenever they see you rolling or poaching. It's a good throw from the other side. Orange trying to just get one more stock here, and they won't get it. Unfortunately, 3 stocking there for the Broncos. They go up 3-0. That's going to be game 1 headed out west.
Yeah, an incredible pick there from the Broncos to go to Richter. That's was really the perfect counter to me brawler, and that's what it ended up doing it for the orange. Was there was just no way for me brawler to respond, no way for Scooby to get back into that one.
I mean, that was starch madness there from the Potato State, just absolutely dominated there on that other side. 3-stock, just beautiful. And, I mean, you can't do much there. Richter is, I mean, there's not a lot of direct counters in Smash. Richter is a direct counter to me brawler. Me brawler has almost no spacing options. He's a lot like Little Mac. Little Mac even, I think, is better against Richter. But it comes down to certain situations where it's tough as me brawler to get into those situations because you have to play aggressive, and Richter knows that.
Yeah, you couldn't draw it up better if you're Boise. Having that ability, being up that one stock really was the game changer because they were allowed to counter. They were allowed to counter, and that's what really saved them was the Palutena performance in the game beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, the Orange don't want to lose here. You saw, I mean, obviously, you go up 3-0, you're on a 4-game skid. You know you're good enough to win these games. You know you're good enough. You've already beat this team, and you want to show that you've improved. The Orange just need to lock in here. Lost the first game. It's okay. Comeback victory is what you want to think. You just want to take it, and I guess I'll say this every stream at this point because I think I have. You take it from your high school football coach, and you just kind of run with it if you're a caster. Win every week is what they say, and I think for this one, you just have to win every stock. Calm down. Don't think about the future. Think about this game. Think about your entire matchup right now. You don't want to think beyond it. Just no feelings, no nerves. Just calm down, lock in, get in there, and just destroy them. It's kind of the best way I think I would think about it. You just got to go in there and play your game. You know you can beat them. You've seen them. But I would not be surprised to see Yoshi starting or Yoshi ending.
Yeah, I mean, as somebody who's not a Smash, somebody who's brilliant at Smash, the advice I would give is the slate's clean now. As you said, like, everything, you have an opportunity to go back out there and show what you can do because no stock has been lost yet. Nobody's picking reactionary characters yet. You're back at the top.
Richter may have been reactionary, to be fully honest with you, now that I think about it. You don't have to go reactionary. You got to play your game. That's the best way I can describe it in terms of just picking the characters that you want to pick. I mean, you know what you can play, and I think Richter was just kind of maybe there for Boise State. The last guy could play Richter. There's a guy we have on our team that can play Richter. That's perfect. Maybe you don't see me brawler next time out, but what you are going to see is Olimar, which the Orange struggled against the Jayhawks. That matchup in Lawrenson was very tough for the Orange against Olimar. They were able to get rid of Olimar, but pretty much set it up disastrously for the end. We'll see what Min can do, though. Both interesting characters that are kind of tough to play against is Olimar doesn't have the distance to get close to Min with those Pikmin.
Yeah, and, Ado Bears, I thought, had a pretty underrated performance last game, doing pretty well against Palutena. That they were just not, they didn't exactly start off the way they wanted to, and now you get a completely clean slate. You get to go up against an Olimar, and you get to try and make the most of being the first character.
You just got to put it together here. If you're the Orange, you have to just calm down, and Ado Bears obviously had a rough start last time. I mean, it's Olimar. You know that Olimar has the vertical advantage on. You can drop that stuff, drop the Pikmin down, and seeing off stage, just kind of always, Min's going to lose off stage, and that's the tough part, is Olimar can get you off stage pretty easily, and it's the horizontal advantage that Olimar is going to use, because Olimar can't hit a Pikmin unless you're getting into Min's range on an equal level.
Yeah, you have to stay middle here if you're Min. You cannot let yourself get close to the edge. You have to constantly be battering Olimar off the stage as much as you can, and you cannot let yourself get close.
And, Ado Bears is really aggressive and doing exactly what you advise against, but, I mean, that's not totally out of the question. You can play that if you're aggressive, and obviously Ado Bears is a very aggressive player. Went wrong that first stock, but that's what you want to see more of, just those edge guards, those predictable edge guards, maybe for Olimar. You want to play back in the middle. You want to have Olimar try and react to what you're doing rather than playing up top, dealing with Olimar on the top level. You want to keep Olimar in those two little sections right on the edges of the stage with no platforms above them. That's how you're going to win this. Up top for Olimar, moves back out to the right side. 20% on Min. This would be a very good elimination on this side. Moves towards the right just a little bit more. Min spiked now, back towards the left side, trying to get Olimar right off stage. Not going to go for it as aggressively as they have earlier. That's what you more want to see from Ado Bears, who does not have any advantage off stage at all.
Yeah, it's a really great recovery here from Ado Bears, just like we saw in the last game that Ado Bears played. Not really taking much percent here on this second stock, giving Olimar so much percentage and just not able to knock him off quite yet.
Yeah, and again, aggressive off stage, can't get the payroll here. 174% for Olimar, an unbelievable number to really just be alive. Is the best way to describe it. Olimar is a very, very light character in the end of it, and that's where he's going to go.
Yeah, honestly, that's like not the most ideal situation for the Orange there. Alamar got a bunch of chip shots in there at the end, put Ado Bears back up to about 68%. But Ado Bears now, they're almost on a level playing field. Alamar getting some hits in, now up to 93. Good shield there, get some hits in again. Alamar launching Ado Bears up into the air. Nothing Ado Bears can really do about that.
All momentum in the direction of Boise State. The Broncos kind of just have it at that point. And you need to have Ado Bears just reclaim the space, do a good job, make Alamar reactionary instead of kind of leading those combos. Still on a 2-stock section here, but prove that you can take a lot of damage against Alamar. Have to stay on stage though. That's a good recovery, or rather a good preventing against edge guarding against Alamar, who if hits Min Min in any way at that percentage will cause Min Min to go off stage 100%.
Yeah, at this point Min Min is playing one shot. Min Min is playing as careful as they can to not get hit one more time by the Alamar and lose another stock, but really doing some great damage to try and even things up right now. Alamar all the way up to almost 100%, over 100% now.
And I want to see this more from Ado Bears. You're seeing how careful they're playing, how much distance they're making sure they have. I want to see that more. I don't want to see as aggressive as against Alamar as we've seen, and that's a clobbering. Back to 2-1 at 157%. What a comeback from Ado Bears. Maybe get some percentage out here before you go down, because I think one wrong move from yourself here, and Alamar is going to get you off stage. Min Min can go down as early as 75% with certain moves because of that recovery, but is doing a great job right now to stay on stage and barely keeps it alive. Alamar should have done it there, but Ado Bears is going to punish him.
Yeah, as you said, an incredible comeback from Min Min, almost being forced because they are one shot to play more carefully, give themselves more distance, and that's maybe how you have to play the character. Really close there. Alamar almost flies off, 88% now in the red zone. Min Min here would be doing an incredible job if they could stay at 185% and survive the onslaught from this Alamar.
A touchdown would be getting it with 2 stocks to go, but Alamar has that massive advantage, and you're watching how careful Ado Bears is playing. Another off stage, playing the edge guard. Alamar back up top, getting back on stage. Watch how just far left Ado Bears is playing. They're jumping back, they're going back forward. They're just keeping the distance, and it's perfect. Alamar can't do anything, and that's a clobbering. 196% stays alive. They're going to have 2 stocks against the next Boise State player.
What an ideal situation for the Orange. What an incredible job from Ado Bears there to keep themselves alive with 180, 190% and take 2 stocks off the Alamar. That's just incredible. That is something that will change the momentum of a game for the Orange.
Absolute cinema from the Orange right there. And you're watching Min Min just play excellently there, because now you get to go in there. 196%. Just kidding. Now you're at 2 stocks with 0%. And obviously you're going to have a reply. If you are the Broncos, what you're not going to see is a Politano, I'll tell you that much. I think Ado Bears played very well against this Politano, and I think if the Broncos saw that, right, they would know that. I think you're going to see a brawler now. Min Min, very good, very tough at about 60% and above if you get off stage, because any character that can edge guard in a certain way off stage, maybe you see a Luigi. Luigi's pretty common among teams because it's Luigi. I don't know why everyone knows. Everyone has Luigi. I don't know why. There's always one player on every team that plays Luigi. It's pretty incredible. I don't think I've not seen a Luigi, at least like on a roster at any tournament in my life. I mean, it's just, you always see Luigi there. It's a mainstay. It's a staple of the world.
Someone picked up a controller at 10 years old and say, I want to play the green guy. And then they played the green guy for the rest of their life and got really good at it.
So, yeah, I mean, Luigi has that 0 to 100 combo, and I think that even leads players who are experienced to be playing Luigi, because it's like, ooh, once you hit that the first time, you're like, whoa, that's really cool. There's not a lot of characters that can do that, especially in Ultimate. Ultimate is a interesting new fighting game because it has so much balancing, and they had so much balancing. You saw nerfs. Final patch has obviously is long gone, but now you're kind of solidified in the meta, and Luigi's really the only character that has that 0 to 100 ability, or 0 to kill ability, I would say. And, I mean, you're going to see probably Luigi from Boise State at some point if they have a Luigi. But, I mean, Luigi kind of just... he plays well against everything. He doesn't really have a counter. You can always change the way you play. It's a fun character.
He's versatile, and the thing about Min Min is that when you get inside those arms, if that makes sense, when you get past the big clobbering balls at the end of the arms, you are able to deal a lot of damage very quickly because there's not really a counter. Despite being a punchy character, you're not really punching up close.
Yeah, we're going to see the Politano. This is going to be really interesting. We're basically playing that same situation once Ado Bears went down 1 stock. Going to be defending again, playing from behind. Let's see what they can do. They did a really good job against Politano last time. I don't think if I was Boise State I would do it, but taunt to start it. They're off to the races.
Yeah, let's see what Boise State can do. As I've said multiple times now, I think Ado Bears played really underratedly against Palatena, taking 2 stocks off. But maybe Boise just thinks, you know, with the ability of Palatena to, you know, they did take all 3 stocks off Ado Bears originally with the Palatena. So maybe they think that now that Ado Bears down to 2 stocks, they can, you know, sneak one over on them.
I mean, that's it's a fair reason to go look at that and go 3-3 matchup. We won that with Palatena. Why not pick Palatena again? That's a completely reasonable thing to assume and go with. I mean, your Palatena has already seen this Min Min. They can adjust. They can do the right way. But you're watching Ado Bears play a completely different way now. Is really, really focusing on staying back, giving them space, not just playing center, but playing them with space, no matter what. Goes off stage very little now. Just has to keep that careful attitude towards it. You see Palatena has that magic missile and has that side B that is just going to decimate Min Min at certain points, but you know, hasn't been using it too much. Palatena has to put that more in her I guess her kit if she wants to keep beating Min Min.
Yeah, and you know, Min Min has done a great job here dealing a lot of damage to Palatena. Palatena getting some damage back, getting some percent back, but really a fine job so far from Min Min and kind of what we expected as well.
And this is where it's dangerous on the edge here, because Palatena gets to play so far away, and you can't really punish them as Min Min. You're basically playing against Min Min in the best situation there, because that side B can do a number on them. But forces Palatena up. Another edge guard. Just a really good situation for the Orange. Back down to the right. Palatena doesn't have the stock advantage, but basically Min Min is going to die if she gets too far to the left of stage.
Yeah, but we saw Min Min perform on high percent last game. Like we know that this is something that Ado Bears feels comfortable with doing. Feels comfortable getting careful, changing their play style, and you know, kind of trying to stay back. But another mid-range character like Palatena, like it's kind of like, you know, you got two similar characters fighting.
And that's just a great side. Oh my gosh. Off the stage, that's another stock advantage for Min Min, but this is a bad situation. You're watching how well Ado Bears is playing, dealing with that side B, playing just between it. It's a very, very smart decision by Ado Bears to do exactly what they're doing. They've responded well. They learned where the Palatena's moveset goes and just replies to it. Does a really good job, but at high percentage, it's very hard to keep yourself out of combos, and that's just proven it there. Back to 2 stocks, basically even on percentage.
And you're basically even because, you know, Palatena came in with 3 and Ado Bears came in with 2. They basically kept each other at arm's length. They are playing very similar games right now.
Arm's length? That was... I have to applaud you on that. I really have to point that one out. That was my favorite joke of the night. That game, I wish we had more skins from that game and more characters from that game. I just want to see an arms top-down game like Smash, but Min Min doing a great job here to, I guess, advertise that. So much fun to watch Min Min play. It's a very different style than I think you see a lot of the time in fighting games, and especially Smash. You don't really see characters like Min Min, and you know, I mean, it's very interesting. It's kind of like, I guess, like a tank. You're watching like a tank roll backwards and forth, and Min Min doing a great job. Watch how they respond to that spacing. You see that side B, they're just playing in front of it or behind it, doing a really good job against Palatena, making sure that critical move to her kit to beat Min Min can't be there. And that's another elimination back to 1-1. 55%. Min Min has a chance to do the unthinkable.
And Min Min knows how to play on high percentage. You know, we saw it last, and it gets the recovery off really close there because we know Min Min's recovery is not that great, and a great counter to the edge guard from Palatena there too.
That was critical situation and a really just pixels between death right there, trying to turn this Boise State player into a baked potato. Palatena, though, gets it back off to the right side, just doing everything they can. And that's the part about being high percentage at Min Min. Once you start getting hit, it's very tough to keep yourself out. You're only a horizontal advantage, and you have to make sure you have that horizontal advantage. But Palatena only plays horizontally, so it's a good matchup for Min Min. Has the opportunity here. Maybe get a right combo, maybe do the right thing here. Try and get another stock for the Orange. Try and win so you can have that same situation. You're at high percentage. Want to get that last stock away.
Yeah, just kind of battering Palatena up into the air. And the biggest thing right here for Min Min is if you're going to get hit, you want to go straight up so that you're still above the stage, so that you can come back down onto the stage. A big hit there. Palatena all the way up, above 100% here. Min Min trying to finish the job. A great edge guard, but takes a hit.
That's unfortunate. Palatena comes back towards middle, but you can't ask for much more than that for Ado Bears. Really good job by Ado Bears to get Palatena down to 1 stock. That was beautiful and really just a few clicks away from going the right way. If that was a 3-stock matchup, Ado Bears would have won that. That is textbook. They learned, they responded. Ado Bears didn't have a great first stock against Palatena, and you could see them in real time learn Palatena. I don't know. Obviously, you know how to play Palatena at that level, but they learned how to play Palatena. They learned how the other Palatena plays, and you took the space as you needed it and basically just moved against her. You don't know, I mean, kind of how your other players are going to play, and you see it one time, and Adabears took it and ran with it. I saw that Palutena twice. Did a really good job, but couldn't bring it back with 2 stocks of 3 there.
Yeah, and a 9-7 lead feels massive for the Orange right now. It feels really good, a really good space to be, especially because you get to be reactionary against a Palutena that is on 1 stock. You get to kind of go in, you can think, okay, what's going to take care of this 1 stock, but also what do I want that they're going to have to react against? What's going to cause the most problems for Boise's coach right now?
Yeah, and I mean, Boise has a coach right now, but sometimes it comes down to the players. You have to go, hey, what do we need? Like, you saw the Richter there. You saw the Richter at the end of the last game, and I mean, that was what the Broncos needed. That's probably not the Broncos' ace. You don't see an ace Richter too often. I mean, it might have been. They played really well. I mean, you saw them dominate Me Brawler. But it comes down to sometimes there's characters that just perform amazingly against other characters. And I mean, not often do you see characters like Joker get outclassed, but that was a tough matchup. I mean, that's how that goes sometimes.
If you're the Orange right here, what do you think about? What do you think? What's going to take 1 stock off this Palutena, but also going to be really hard to react against?
And Master Hand just spoke to me once again, and my favorite character in the entire game will be doing just that, Steve. Steve is a wild card pick because there's literally nothing that plays like Steve. You are actually playing Minecraft. Like, that is the goal of Steve, is to play Minecraft. It is incredible. It is so much fun. You have so much momentum. Steve is banned from a lot of competitive formats for very good reason, because he's really, really good. Haven't seen it yet. Haven't seen it in a while. Didn't see it against the Jayhawks. But we will be seeing Quick for the first time. Plays Mega Man as well. Beyond Steve. Played a lot of Mega Man last semester. For a lot of Steve this semester.
Yeah, honestly, the way that I think about Steve, and I know that his home game is Minecraft, but he's building in Fortnite. He's editing on the opposing team. He's getting in good position with his builds and just trying to get the drop on the other players.
And I guess you are getting mats to upgrade your weapons, huh? Fortnite analogy with Minecraft, we could not do any. We're really just cooking in this booth tonight. Might be a sauna in here, but all we do is cook, my friend. That is just beautiful right there. But Steve is a very interesting character. Obviously, his kit is set up to momentum kind of go up. If you don't get rid of him, he will get worse and worse to beat. He's not weak when he's got no weapons, but he's going to combo you in the right way. But unfortunately, if Palutena cannot get rid of this Steve early enough, we will see Steve go into the next round of 3 stocks, and then you will see Steve decimate the wrong character. It's certain situations where Steve can decimate certain characters if you let him get that time.
And no emoting here from the Steve. He is cold as ice to start this game off, and he's ready. He's ready to take on this Palutena.
Yeah, you're going to see Emo to start it, and it is just unfamiliar territory for Palutena, who's just, I mean, it is incredible. Boxing him in there, Steve, putting him back to the right side, jumping back up, has that anvil. An incredible, just all of Steve's moves kind of sit around there for a while. You're playing a very interesting game where you're also dealing with stage hazards in a non-item game. You're basically playing with items again.
Yeah, it does cause a little bit of a nightmare for players who have only played competitive, because you don't have to deal with items. You don't have to deal with somebody like throwing a Pokeball at you, but then suddenly you're dealing with Steve, and you're getting Minecraft blocks thrown at you. It's really not ideal.
Yeah, you just got put into a minecart there. It is. The jokes write themselves here. It is just a beautiful thing. If you are unfamiliar with Smash Ultimate, stopped following about 4 years ago, you would look at this game and go, why is the zombie from Minecraft on my screen? And Palutena doing a really good job to give Steve the space. Has him pretty much close to dead here. They can get one more stock here. Palutena just wants to get 1 stock at the very least to keep it even. On that other end, Steve's going to keep mining for more materials to upgrade the weapons that they have. Back to the left side. Palutena left, back towards the other side. Steve just getting a good job. And that's the weird part about Steve. You're kind of just running away from the other team for a very long time, trying to do your own thing. Minecart's back to stage, has to go use the up B. Saw it the first time there, and Hook, unfortunately, line and sinker nearly gets him gone.
Yeah, I mean, Steve is such an interesting character. Gonna take the first stock. You gotta respond now quickly. You gotta get rid of this Palutena before you lose another stock, honestly, because it hasn't been going perfectly for the Orange so far.
Yeah, Steve has a tough matchup against zoners, and obviously we're seeing that here. Does a lot better against brawlers because he does a great job keeping space. Steve is a brawler, and I mean, they're going to see that. Quick has played a lot of Steve, obviously. That's why you're playing it here. But could be very interesting if Steve needs to, Quick rather needs to get the stock right here. Palutena is at a high percentage. Has to just lock in here. Can't really play Steve as much as you normally would. That up A is a very tough one to hit.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that the Steve pick, the quick pick here, was both thinking, how can we get rid of this stock, but also who is going to cause the biggest problem for them to respond against. That's what we were talking about before the game started, and that's honestly, I think, what the Orange went for.
Yeah, have to get it right here. And that's the tough part about the Magma Lock. You kind of have to sit right there and just deal with whatever the Palutena does. If she misses, it's kind of like a stun move. You are almost automatically going to get hit. That's the one part about Steve's kit that can suck at certain times. You have a lot of timing, weird timing that other characters don't have. You don't have to wait between moves as much as you do with other characters. Steve just really needs to get rid of this Palutena. Has him back to 101%. Has a diamond in the works there. Moving back to the right side. Steve just needs to get rid of this Palutena. The longer you go, the harder it gets. Palutena to go off stage. Can't go down to one stock here. That would be critical, and not going to. Knocks him off right. A clobbering from Minecraft Zombie.
Yeah, nice swing of the sword there to really emphasize the win there for Minecraft Zombie. Good things for the Orange. Going to keep the distance as the same amount that it was before. It's going to be, what, 7-5 now?
Yeah,
8-6?
Better math than me. Quick is going to go in there, and it's going to be 8-5, I believe, now, because it's going to be 8-6 now. Master Hand has just told me I was wrong. I'm not good at math. And, you know, it happens. It does certainly happen. But, yeah, I mean, got to go in there. Got to just take a deep breath. You're locked. You're locked now.
And, you know, here's what I think we're going to see. We're going to see, you know, Steve is both the pick, not exactly reactionary to the Palutena because you know that you can take care of the Palutena, but also thinking ahead and thinking, you know, who's going to do well against an unknown opponent, somebody that Boise's going to get to hand pick.
And if I'm going to be honest here, if I'm Boise, I'm probably putting in Richter here. You saw how well the Zoner did against Minecraft, Steve, Zombie, whatever you want to call it. Quick had a tough time against Palutena there. Richter is a very tough Zoner, is hardline zoner is the best way I can describe it. Plays at a distance. Very good counter to Steve. I've seen it before in competitive formats. Can counter Steve very well if you play it the right way, and maybe you might just see it again here. I mean, you go in there with Steve, you're struggling a massive amount against zoners because your whole kit is keeping the other person away. But that's kind of the problem, is that's the zoner's kit. Is you're basically playing to keep the other person out of your wheelhouse while you do your stuff, while you craft, while you make your diamond swords, make your iron picks. But, I mean, it can come down to it. If you play Richter here, Steve can take a stock off, and it can be easier for a character like Luigi to close the gap, and it'll be very interesting to see. Haven't seen Yoshi or Luigi yet, but, I mean, you'd like to see that eventually. The Orange have played those characters a lot, but you don't want to see them rely on that because sometimes Boise State's going to just know. We saw two other characters. Here comes Yoshi, Luigi. Let's play this character. Having versatility is very good.
And
like I mentioned,
there.
Richter coming out.
Yeah, it was a great call there from you, Carson. You know, exactly the pick that you thought they would go with, they will, and you know, Steve kind of just has to keep his distance, mine, get full diamond, and then, you know, go in, try and land some hits, face the Ender Dragon, as it were.
Find the gap. Very aggressive move from the Steve on the right side. Now you're watching the problem with Richter. Just is kind of able to play a different game, and you're going to see Zombie's just going to try and get him up for percentage, hit him, and then start just start moving down the other side. He just levitated at him. I have not seen that. That's tech right there. That is beautiful tech from Steve.
Yeah, you know, Elytra Wings just, you know, happened to spawn in on Steve there. It's really interesting stuff. Really interesting to see how this matchup's going to be played because this is a pretty darn good counter to Steve.
Yeah, and you're seeing it here. Has a very tough time on the edge. Cannot get back in any way, shape, or form. Has to try and take a stock off Richter here. But Steve is all about stalling, and Richter is the opposite of that. Richter is going to just knock you out of your rhythm. You have to play against Richter. You have to face off against him. And it's very tough when you have a crafting table there that you have to manage all of those things there. Steve going to go back to the right side. Very good pick from Boise State, I have to say. And you're seeing exactly why now.
Yeah, I don't think Richter is going to allow Steve to dictate how this game's going to go. Richter's going to be the one really giving Steve the business, as it were. You know, like letting Steve, keeping Steve on his toes in this game.
There's a legendary call from that point, but Steve is kind of unable to respond at certain points. At a certain distance, Steve is not able to do damage, and Richter is able to keep Steve out of the other side, back towards the right side. They're both off edge. Not exactly what they both want to see. Steve trying to just get a stock now at this point. Moving back up towards the top. Richter. Steve has his stone sword now, his first upgrade of the game, which is not what you want to see if you are an Orange fan. Those upgrades should be coming a lot quicker. Moves towards that right side. That minecart threw Richter off, but off stage, he's able to just keep Steve on stage, which is a very important part of this. If I'm Steve, I'm using the minecart a lot more. Richter's been struggling with it.
Yeah, honestly, it's not looking amazing for Steve. The biggest thing you can ask for is not get hit anymore and just try and take a stock off Richter, but it's not looking great at the moment. Looks like things might go into the next round even again.
Yeah, and great call. 6-6 now as we head towards it. The Orange can respond to Richter, though. They don't play a brawler. They can go in here, play something that they know. But Richter is a very hard character to counter with when you don't know someone. And I think your best counter would have been Mega Man, but Quick plays Mega Man.
Yeah, certainly would not want to play me brawler again against Richter. We saw how that went last time. A 3-stocking really would not be the ideal pick, but the Orange have options. The Orange have flexibility. They're a well-rounded team.
Yeah, me brawler against Richter again would kind of feel like just getting put into a stocking and just thrown. It's tough. It's very hard to play against that. I mean, Richter is he's very good at what he does. He's the ultimate zoner. I stopped playing the game when he came out. It made me so angry. Like I couldn't deal with it. It was the reason I jumped out of competitive on this game. I couldn't deal with it. I just couldn't. I would see a Richter, I would turn off my game. Like I couldn't. It's a very hard character to counter, and you have to play the right characters, and I never did. So I obviously wasn't very good at the game. But I mean, I played a lot, and I have a lot of experience, and these guys do too, and they know that. They know Richter is very good against a very good percentage of the roster, but he's very bad against certain characters. And I'd like to see the right selection here, and I don't know what they're going to pick, but hopefully Master Hand tells me soon.
Yeah, dashboard due to Richter is what we call that for you. But, maybe we'll see some Luigi. That, personally, that would be my pick. We haven't seen Luigi yet this match. I would like to see Luigi try and go in there, try and counter some of Richter, try and keep some distance, as we were talking about. And the Master Hand has now told me that we're actually going to be seeing a heavier character in Donkey Kong come out for the Orange.
And that's what you like. You talk about super armor. That's a big counter to Richter. K-Rool is one of the biggest counters to Richter because he kind of just is like, I actually don't care that you just did that to me, walks right at you, and then destroys you. It's a very fun character to play. I think K-Rool was, one of the big reasons Smash Ultimate got so popular is you saw the K-Rool content come out when the game came out. There was so many K-Rool memes. Love that character, but I mean, Donkey Kong is the same way. He has a lot of super armor options. He has a lot of ways to close the distance. We've seen Donkey Kong excel so far this season and in the spring specifically. Trying to get a game off here. You're back to even. The Orange are playing a very close game. Haven't taken a stock off Richter yet. It's 5-0 whenever Richter's opponents have played. Donkey Kong has a great opportunity here to go out there and I guess beat Richter.
Yeah, you think of K-Rool, you think of the K-Rool flop, you think of the big cannon. But with Donkey Kong, my personal favorite is when you put him in the ground and you hit him a bunch. I think that's really funny.
Yeah. The heavier characters in this game do really funny things. I mean,
DDD.
DDD. I mean, DDD obviously is the funniest, objectively the funniest character in the game. You go out there, you're cooking him. You're literally cooking him. That's like his whole plot. Is he just loves eating. And you get down to the other side, Donkey Kong. It's going to be very interesting here. We'll have to see how Donkey Kong is played. You have to close that distance. You cannot get Richter, allow him to have any distance. You have to just keep the pressure on, foot on the gas. We talked about that earlier. And this is a good start off stage. Richter has a tough recovery, certain points, but Donkey Kong not able to get him down there.
I mean, that Richter boomerang, you cannot avoid it. You can go as far as you want on the other side of the stage, and no matter what you do, you're going to get hit by the boomerang.
And a completely different matchup here, and you're watching that. He can deal with it. Donkey Kong can deal with Richter's kit, and it's obviously not easy. This Richter is very good from Boise State. He has been dominant all night, and Richter's a great character, but you got to give the flowers what they're due. This guy's playing perfectly. He knows exactly how this character works and knows exactly how to counter it. Seems on every edge. Puts him on the right side, already 158 percentage. Richter can go from 0 to 150 very quickly, and you just saw that faster than a V8.
Yeah, I mean, with this, Richter knows how to counter multiple different types of characters, too. We saw the Richter counter our brawlers, and now we're seeing the Richter counter one of our heavyweights.
Have to just kind of see how they're going to play it here. Donkey Kong just kind of has to keep the oppression on, keep the pressure on, hope for the best. Need to get a stock here. That's the general thing. You cannot go into this next game against Richter down 6-3. I mean, the Orange have done a very good job, and it would have been a loss to Richter at this point if they can't get a stock yet. They're doing a very good job, though. Donkey Kong keeping the percentage low, giving Richter the space when he needs it, and oppressing him when that side B is gone. But that down B is very, very tough to deal with.
Yeah, an 8-0 run against Richter would really not be ideal, but there it goes to 7-0 for the Orange, and it's just not what you want to see. It's not what you want to see. DK doing everything he can, and Richter doesn't have the recovery to deal with the jump off from DK, so he's going to lose a stock here. That's really ideal for the Orange. You'd like to see them get at least one on Richter, even if it's with a bit of a gimmicky move.
I'd like to just see him do that repeatedly, actually, is kind of where I'm at with that. I mean, Donkey Kong is very good. His kid is very gimmicky certain points, but I mean, you're seeing it there. Donkey Kong can beat him at the right point, down 2 stocks to 1. See if you can get just maybe the right move here. Do it the right way, but you're watching how fast that percentage ticks up for Donkey Kong. I mean, Richter hits him over. He hit him 3 times. How did he go by 50%? You're watching that. Just does so much damage, and now the heavy is in kill range already.
Are you having flashbacks? And there it is for the Orange. Richter, just another dominant performance. They don't have an answer for him.
Yeah, It's 8-1 against Richter right now for the Orange. Death by Richter, unfortunately, is how it's been going so far. Have to pick something here. And I think you gotta call to it. You have to call to the great Green L. I think Luigi is your pick here. Just gotta do with what you know. Gotta do with the Orange now.
The great Green L to try and avoid the shutout L really is what you hope to see from the Orange
Get
here.
the big Orange W. That's what you want every week. Any given week, it's 5-3 now.
Surprise
For the
pick Mario
Broncos.
for the big Orange W.
5-3 now for the Orange, doing a very good job to keep themselves in this game. Have really beat the Broncos and everything else, but this Richter, and it's flowers where they're due. This Boise State Richter don't have usernames, unfortunately, but they are. I would go over that stream at some point, and after this, obviously, stay tuned in. But I'd go in and check their name, give them the flowers where they're due. This is a very good player that you will see in Vegas cause some serious problems for a lot of teams.
Yeah, this is we are watching sheer dominance right here, folks. We are watching the Orange just not have anything that they can do against a player of this caliber.
It's like 06 LeBron. I mean, there's nothing. Not 06 LeBron. 2012 LeBron. I'm just going with different LeBrons. It's pretty easy to just go with LeBron, and you're pretty much right. 06 LeBron is, I think, still in high school.
He was probably dominant there, too.
That's true.
Being that he got drafted right out of high school.
That's a really good point. But, I mean, Richter got drafted out of high school straight to his hometown team. Just a kid from Castlevania. And you'll see Yoshi here on that right side.
Yeah, Yoshi, an interesting pick. Yoshi, who led off the first game for the Orange, going to try and not have them get closed out here.
See what they can do. Yoshi has been playing very, very quick. Basically going to be a response to Richter's distance. Yoshi's great at closing it. See what he can do here. Just trying to avoid everything he can, but this Richter has just been so good at dealing with those, just anything. Just dealing with anything, and maybe you want to see Yoshi earlier in this point, but the Orange are leaving it all in the hands of GRB.
Yeah, I mean, Yoshi, we saw last game with the Yoshi Swarm just getting in close, dominating opponents in that manner, and actually taking an early lead here on Richter. That's really impressive. We haven't seen anybody be able to do that. But, you know, the Richter, clearly an experienced player, clearly has the ability to get things back, to adjust.
And if you're a PEC member right now watching this, doing your scouting, look for this Richter as a counter pick. You have to be prepared for this because it's going to come out when you're playing a brawler. Especially in Vegas, you're going to just see a Richter appear suddenly. And that's what's going to happen, and you're going to have a tough time against it if you're playing a brawler. But, I mean, Yoshi is a very interesting pick here. You play so fast, you have so much armor in that egg to kind of keep the distance. And Yoshi trying to get the first stock here. Almost goes down. Both of them almost go down. Have to keep down on the ground for Yoshi. Very good up B from Richter that can keep you out. And that's a stock for GRB. Perfect 3-1. Got to do what you can here. Maybe try your best here. Try not to go down to 2 stocks. You've seen the comeback from before. We haven't seen this Richter on the ropes like we have now.
Yeah, this is the closest. This is the most vulnerable the Richter has looked all night. And yeah, I mean, if you're a PEC scouting team, I'm quaking in my boots watching this Richter tonight. But hopefully the Yoshi here is the correct counter pick and can get some damage on this Richter, can get the Richter out of the game, can neutralize the Richter.
Yeah, and I mean, they're using Richter as a neutralizing factor is the best way to describe it. The Orange play a character, and Boise State gets the chance to respond when they lose their character, and Richter is the response. And it's tough to beat Richter with the Orange's lineup, but I mean, you can see it done. They've done a good job applying. You have to learn it, and this is going to be good experience when you have to go up against other teams later on in the semester, trying to get rid of that losing streak. You're seeing improvement from the Orange. In those 2-0s, I mean, you don't see it all the time, but you're seeing improvement here from the Orange. They're playing a very close game against a top-table team.
Yeah, and you know, here you're looking to try and get percent. You know, if you have to take a stock here, go 3-2 into the finale. You do, and the Orange, they're going to take the stock right there. But you would like to end things here. You would like to end things before you go down to 1. Be all really on the ropes for your last matchup.
Yeah, 3-2 would be a ideal situation at this point for the Orange. High percentage for Richter. Has gone 9-2 against his opponents so far. And, you know, you're just hoping for the best on that other end. Puts it right. Just great counters from Yoshi. He's got a lot of super armor, which is a very weird thing for Yoshi to have, but he does, and you're watching it here. Richter connects those moves, and Yoshi's just like, I'm going to run by you and just destroy you. So we'll see how good he does there. And off the sidewall, what an edge guard! Yoshi keeps it to 2 stocks. GRB will move on to the final round. 3-2 Boise State advantage, but that was excellent from GRB.
Incredible play, incredible predict the down B from the Richter. You know, go kind of not directly onto the edge, but slightly off the edge, and just bounce him off the wall and end his game.
That was perfect. You just love to see that. Good response time, good reaction. Seeing GR Bean is very reactionary and very good, but come from behind win here. You got to do it. 3-2. Boise State's going to have the chance to respond. We're going to see something we haven't because Boise State has gone to this point before, but every character we've seen so far, again, going to be interesting to see what we reply with against Yoshi. And, I mean, the last time we had Richter, that's what got rid of the Yoshi because it was 3-1. And guess you'll have to see here what the Orange can do against whatever the Boise State Broncos decide to do. Top table team against, the Orange, who were a top table team and have the potential to be that. They play a lot of close games, but sometimes it comes down to it, and the Orange can't put it together. And this is a lot better of a team than shows up on the scoreboard, I think. I mean, you have 2-0s a lot of the time, but you don't see those games. You don't watch those games. You don't know what this Orange team is like. I mean, you talk about football teams, a lot of people at the end of the year are like, oh, this team is 7 plays away from 11-5, and it's easy to say that, but I'm going to say that. You obviously don't win those games. They didn't win those games, but the Orange have the potential to win those games. They aren't a bottom table team. They aren't where they should be in terms of just how good they are. And, I mean, it's a tough challenge. It's a tough opponents, and the Orange can move up there. They have the talent. They have the prospects. They just need a little luck sometimes, and this might be just it, getting rid of the Richter at 3-2. See what you can do now.
Yeah, this is my first experience casting this Orange team, and they are really talented. They're really, really well-rounded. Here comes King DDD for Boise. They did not have a Richter to turn to, but they're going to turn to the big man himself.
See what this Penguin can do. It's going to be a 3-2 stock matchup for Game 2 Orange, playing on the ropes, down a stock, trying to get this into Game 3. We'll see what the Orange can do here. Just one platform in the middle of the stage. See how you're going to play around that. Yoshi does not have a horizontal advantage. King DDD has just the distance advantage. He's kind of a zoner. I don't know if I would really call him that because he's very heavy and doesn't really play at a distance, but you're going to see a lot of DDD playing at distance. And watch how high of a percentage Yoshi gets so quickly. That's the tough part about DDD. If you don't play him right, he's just going to take percentage off of you, and that's exactly what we're talking about. He's got so much util on the edge.
Yeah, GR Bean fighting to stay alive, fighting to try and, make a little miracle happen here for the Orange, try and keep them alive in this 3-game set. And it's not looking wonderful so far at half the percent, double the percent of the Boise King DDD, and just trying to get some chip shots from range here with the egg throw.
Yeah, and, once you get to Vegas, you're going to see a lot of this DDD for Boise State. Towards the end, you don't want to show your hand too much, but that DDD is crushing. 64% only for GR Bean on that stock there. Has an opportunity, though. Has the advantage on percentage. Now you need to get rid of this DDD right here, right now. See that super armor on the up B. That's a tough problem getting rid of him. 0%. Now it's back to 2-1. Now you're playing against the ropes. Can't die here. This is the end.
Hey, you're back playing like we were talking about before. You're playing one shot again. You are playing where you cannot make any mistakes. You cannot afford to do anything wrong here because that'll mean a loss for your team.
Yeah, you got to play tough defense here. Just trying to get everything out of there, but GR Bean struggling again with that high percentage, back to 104%. He's in kill percentage. One wrong move, DDD can put him away and say goodnight to the Orange. Boise State just doing a great job on these last 2 stocks from both games, just playing very well, choosing the right characters. And Boise State, you don't see a DDD too often excelling, but that's what you're seeing right now.
Yeah, it's looking rough. 114 is super kill zone for the Yoshi. Just trying to get some chip damage, try and make something happen. 127 now. It's getting later and later. I'll say that.
Yeah, and that's another tough spot here from the Orange. I don't know the protocol on this one. This is the first time this has happened. A communication error has ended the game partially. So I believe what we're going to do is I would guess you would go down 2-1 and basically replay 2-1. Protocol is judging on the reactions out there. Not sure what we're doing. I think you can see the reactions a little bit better than we can.
Yeah, not sounding ideal for the Orange based on what we're hearing outside. But, it could be a blessing in disguise if they do end up getting to replay 2-1. Things were looking rough for Yoshi, rough for GR Bean there. We'll see.
The percentage was so high you might be forced to take some damage there as a bit of a consolation, but obviously these things happen. It's esports. You're not playing in the same room, connected to the same thing. You're not playing with the same ball on the same court. If basketball had holograms and you were playing a team across the country, first off, that'd be pretty awesome. But second off, have some connection issues.
What happens when Patrick Mahomes has connection issues this Sunday and he just stops working on the field?
See, if it was holograms, that'd be tough. And then, I don't know. Super Bowl will be very fun to watch. But this is my Super Bowl right now. I really want to see the Orange pull this one out here. A bit of Rocky-style comeback. See what Yoshi can do. Just pink guy that we hope can.
Yeah, a little pink guy that we're all putting our hopes on tonight for the orange. Just, you know, he's got his tongue, he's got his eggs. What else can you say about Yoshi? You love to love Yoshi, and you hope, you know, you love to love DDD too, but right now we love to love Yoshi a little bit more.
I mean, right now he is the villain. I mean, he's the villain in this game, but obviously when I'm playing a Kirby game, I'm like, oh, no, there's the guy, there's the penguin. But no, I mean, his threatening to knock out the orange here, or knockout percentage. What are you gonna do? Yoshi is a tough character to beat at a certain end, and I mean, it's a tough character to play against at a certain end for DDD, but doing a great job. And you're seeing the side B being used in a massive way, just knocking him off, just playing it there, predicting his moves. You're playing a way where you are predicting both moves. Yoshi has two options to come up from edge. And what he's doing is he is hitting the side B, he's knocking out one option, and he's standing where he can do the other one. It's great reaction, it's great game knowledge from the Boise State King DDD, and you're watching exactly that. Great game knowledge at work. These players are smart, these Boise State players are smart, and that's what you're watching.
Exactly, and it's absolutely a situation where Yoshi, being the lighter, smaller character, is not able to control the middle like you would like. And, you know, that's kind of DDD's bread and butter, is just swinging the spike ball left, right, wherever the Yoshi happens to be, and then, you know, getting hits in. And Yoshi just doesn't have a counter for that at the moment for the orange.
Yeah, and a great aerial game, too, from DDD. You don't really expect that from a heavy. It's probably one of the best heavies in the air, to be fully honest with you. Other than probably Ridley. I don't know. Ridley's not really good at doing the things on the ground, so that's kind of a problem for Ridley. But I mean, he has that down B. But King DDD just all around. You're not even seeing DDD's full kit being used because, to be honest with you, it doesn't really work all the time against certain characters. DDD's one, or rather, Yoshi's one of them for DDD. But so obviously seeing him counter pretty well. But the Orange are just gonna have to, I guess, put it back together, put the pieces in place. Maybe the puzzle piece is missing. Puzzle piece of like a little clownfish right there. You're missing some pieces. You're missing some pieces there. Got to put it together here against DDD.
And the Rocket kind of plays like Thor.
He does, but we'll see some more Smash Bros in just a moment here. We're going to be right back to deal with the technical issues, and we'll be back to you soon. Don't go anywhere, folks. PEC Week 3 action coming back shortly. We're back already. quick turnaround. Got those technical issues sorted. King DDD Yoshi will be playing back from 2-1. Unfortunate technical disconnect. You know, it sometimes goes positively for the way of the Orange, and you know, we'll take those. Unfortunately, gets to play get to take it back, calm down, just you know, call the timeout. We will. And, yeah, just go back into it, play the game once again. Been playing great already. Orange will just have to do it the same way. Have to do a little bit better this time.
Yeah, you know, no refs in this, but technical difficulties are, I think, the closest thing we're going to get to a referee deciding when the game stops and starts. But Yoshi already performing great against the DDD, 84 to just about 20% now, and it's really ideal for the Orange how things have started off here. And, you know, hopefully they took that time to just compose themselves, get back in this one.
Let me pull a DDD guide up for Yoshi on your phone really quick, but obviously just kidding. He just went in there and probably just reset it mental, to be fully honest with you. You're seeing Yoshi play a lot better, play GR Bean's game, and you're watching that very closely, but a bit too heavy there. And that's the tough part. You couldn't see the spike coming down, and Yoshi nearly knocked out right there by King DDD, had him where he wanted him. DDD obviously so heavy that you are playing a tough game, where sometimes you can't really get him out on top of the stage sometimes, and you have to get it either direct right, direct left, or direct up if you want to get him out at even 130%.
Yeah, Yoshi's certainly controlling the center a little bit better, but that is going to do it for SU.
So close, but so far for the Orange. Nearly got DDD to KO, bringing in one stock at about 40% for GR Bean, but that's unfortunately all they wrote. Broncos stampede the Orange 2-0 in a closer game than what would appear on paper. Obviously, we don't play these games on paper, and I think that's the important part for the Orange to remember today. Very good job.
Yeah, an incredible, obviously a 2-0 loss is not what you want if you're the Orange, but for my first time watching, this Orange team is incredibly well-rounded. This Orange team has a lot of talent, and they showed that they're a good team. They're a better team than the final score would suggest.
Yeah, and you have to go into that if you're the Orange team. You won 2-1 last time. 2-0 loss feels bad, but you have to understand that Richter was the only reason you lost. You beat 6 Broncos tonight. You couldn't beat the 7th.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
that Richter was certainly the defining player for the Broncos. Went like 8-1, 8-3 in the end.
10-2 against the opponent, or 10-3 against the opponents for that Richter, who did just a stellar job when it needed to. And if you're the Orange, that's a tough situation to be in. And you go in there, you have a guy that basically won 3 games, has lost 1. It's a tough situation to deal with, and that Richter's very good. And you saw that. You'll see that in the Sin City. If you're the Orange, got to lock in here. Darn. It's like a darn it. You got to go into the next one. But that's going to be all she wrote from the Shine Gaming and Esports Center here in PEC Week 3. Orange fall to the Broncos as a team. We'll move on to next week, Week 4, and we'll be back to you, hopefully, with some shows next week. I've been Carson Cass, my co-commentator Jack Elliott.
It's been incredible being here with you, Carson. Thank you.
Yeah, first time, and you'll probably see him a lot more, but that's going to be all from us. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you tune in during our next stream. Thank you very much. Goodbye.